I really don't even understand Marvel Comics at this point and the way that they treat Spider-Man of all characters and the Spider-Man fans. It's like they treat them like they're dumb. And, if you're still buying it, maybe you are at this point. No offense. But they do everything they can to let you know that they disrespect this character, disrespect you, and people just keep buying it because it says Amazing Spider-Man on the cover. Maybe that's why they do it. Maybe it's a humiliation ritual. But Nick Lowe, the editor, got a lot of pushback from fans finally at New York Comic Con. And, it's because of the way they've treated Spider-Man over the years and the fans, like they're second-class citizens. And here it goes. This is what they're going to get a lot more of as people speak up even more. There's a couple bizarre things that came out of this, which I'll talk to you about in just a moment. My name's John Delarose. I am the most trusted name in comics news. I appreciate you guys for being here, and thank you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us as we talk about all things comics going on in the culture. And I'm a creator myself. I've made the Emerald Array, and this was basically a reaction to fans. So unlike Nick Lowe, who, fans say, we want this out of Spider-Man or that, just does the exact opposite. You guys told me we want some great sci-fi with a high T action, a full cast of male Space Marines, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give this to you. And as you can see, we're off to a great start. Wonderful amount of contributions. I'm very, very happy at 221 backers on Fund My Comic, which is a pro-free speech platform. And check it out, guys. It's a 66-page graphic novel. And again, I listened to all you guys and what you were looking for out of comics, built this, and built it in an art style that harkens back to like Marvel in the 70s and 80s, like Jack Kirby style art, when things were great. So we're making comics great again. It's in the description below. Support our channel, support our art here, even if you only just grab the digital, whatever works. I just want you guys reading because this is where it's at. We are making things different and making waves in the comic industry, and I appreciate you for being here. So fans are reportedly revolting on Amazing Spider-Man editor Nick Lowe at New York Comic Con. Apparently, it went very, very bad for the editor, and it's because of the way he always treats fans. Now, this is my Fandom Pulse Substack, where I write up the news. I'll put this in the description below, too, so you guys don't miss anything I report on in the mornings. And this report came on Reddit, and it's it's a reaction to upcoming Amazing Spider-Man issues that are coming out after Zeb Wells' run. Now, for a background, for those who have not followed Spider-Man in a long, long time, Spider-Man has stagnated as a character. They decided 15 whatever years ago it is now that they were going to end the spider marriage at all costs. The Peter Parker Mary Jane relationship must be gone in order to make this character young and youthful and appeal to modern audiences. Even back then they were trying to do this. And so they had Spider-Man make a deal with Mephisto, the representation of the devil in Marvel Comics, because Aunt May was going to die, and he wanted her to live a little bit longer, even though she's like 150 years old. And so he was willing to give up his entire life with Mary Jane just to let her live for maybe even one more day. Weird. It didn't make any sense. And it really didn't make any sense on any story level whatsoever. It was a complete disaster. And it insulted the fans' intelligences right away. If you remember how Brand New Day started out, they had Peter making out with a different girl in the club as like the first page after this happened. And it's like, wow, way to rub it in the fans' faces. And this seems to be like their attitude with Amazing Spider-Man the entire time. They just hate the fans. They loathe people who actually read comics and care about these characters and want to just leave their own imprint on things and, of course, subvert expectations they always like talking about, right? And so as it's gone along, Spider-Man kind of went through ups and downs during that point. They did the Superior Spider-Man thing, which got really weird under Dan Slott, where, Dr. Octopus went kind of weird and rapey with Mary Jane and kind of made you feel icky about the characters also. And then that era kind of ended. And actually, Nick Spencer took over, who I wasn't expecting to do very well, but he actually started moving things kind of back in the right direction, even though the character had really stagnated, and almost got there until his run ended. And then it just went into this mishmash, hodgepodge of crap with Spider-Man Beyond and the Dark Web and things like that. And Zeb Wells' crazy nonsense that just is just painful to read all the way around. Now, the main part that came out of this was the Cucktacular Spider-Man, where you see Peter Parker getting dressed as Mary Jane and Matt Walsh are hanging out together, having their life. And Spider-Man flies off, and she goes, "Get home safe," while she goes and and hangs out with Mr. Man Bun here. The character's name is Paul, and for a while, Mary Jane even had children of his from another dimension that she was watching, and it was just a complete cluster the entire way through. Everybody hated this. Everybody hated the characters, and they kept doubling down. I mean, we're at like 60 issues of it, so you know by the time you're at like issue like 12 whether audiences like things or not. And they don't, and everybody's writing in that they don't, and everybody's been talking on the internet about how they hate it, and they just kept at it. 60 plus issues. You got to course correct at some point. That's literally your one job as editor, Nick Lowe, is to just like look at the fan reaction and go, okay. Now, Nick Lowe has disregards people in the letters columns and online, and he did much the same at New York Comic Con, it turns out. And so when this was all happening, apparently Nick Lowe was asked about this type of thing, and he was then just waving people off and refusing to answer questions about it, just like he does in person. Now, this was apparently met with people leaving because they were just annoyed with the Spider-Man panel, and he didn't care anyway. The Redditor who reported this and actually talked about it described the situation as super awkward. Like the whole room was against him. Now, during this, they also put up a picture, this is an old one, but of Spider-Man making out with Black Cat, and apparently it was met with groans by the fans who don't want to see another, like, will they, won't they sort of thing go on again with this. It's just the same old tired rehash thing rather than actually letting the character develop and actually have the relationship with MJ that of course, readers want. And so that fell over like a Led Zeppelin, of course. And then something really interesting happened. And this is the first time I've heard this, so you have to let me know if you've heard this rumor before. But apparently, like, the letters column in Amazing Spider-Man gets filled with like some like very positive reaction sort of stuff that he then uses as like, look, people love Spider-Man and love the direction we're going. And he was accused apparently by somebody in the audience of writing his own letters to the letter column to print there. Now, this is pretty interesting because I could totally see this happening because you know that I don't know a single person, left or right, black or white, male or female, gay or straight, who likes Amazing Spider-Man under Zeb Wells. I mean, I've never seen anything positive said about it. And yet those letters columns have that apparently. So this person was asking a question about that, and apparently it was cut off. They cut the Q&A short. They actually didn't go the full hour, and Nick Lowe was ushered out of there after like a disaster of a panel where people are just not happy with the direction Spider-Man's going in the future. Now, Zeb Wells is off the book, which is, I guess, a good move. And they're doing this whole thing like this, like Deaths of Spider-Man. That's like, I don't understand what's happening with a Dr. Doom character. This is part of the cover of that coming up soon. And they don't seem to have like a set direction going forward. This is just going to be a thing. I guess it's like a filler event while they wait to figure out who's actually going to take on Spider-Man at this point. But if they don't make massive changes and don't just like do things right, I mean, it's pretty much like this is a dead-on arrival situation for anything that's coming out of Spider-Man in the future. And it doesn't sound like Nick Lowe's willing to do anything. It sounds like he wants to drag his feet in the mud and just say, screw you fans, over and over and over again, which is a real bummer. Now, people, of course, responded big time to Ultimate Spider-Man and just having Spider-Man married to Mary Jane. I don't think that book's that good, to be honest. I think it's pretty boring and not much is happening. But the setup was like, okay, this is refreshing for at least the first couple of issues. It's like, okay, this is actually what we want out of Spider-Man. And like, it's sold like freaking hotcakes. So wouldn't you notice that and go, okay, why we want to do things that sell? But hey, this is Marvel Comics. Maybe they don't even care. Really, really funny that New York Comic Con is even turning on Nick Lowe and Spider-Man, that the audience rejected this, that they're rejecting the way forward, and that they don't like this whole Black Cat setup going at it again, that they don't like the fact that Peter and Mary Jane are still not together, and Nick Lowe was asked about that several times, to which he cut things off. It's insane that Marvel continues to double down on this, but couldn't happen to a nicer corporation. Leave a comment down below with what you think. Hit the like and subscribe button, my friends, and be sure to check out my Emerald Array. Like I said, I listened to the fans. I knew what you guys wanted, and of course, I wrote it because you guys want that high-tea action adventure. This is it right here. This is everything you've been looking for out of comics, guys. Grab it in the description below. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll be back soon.